Welcome back, little Rhody listeners. This is week
This is week 5 now.
week 5. Wow, already?
Week
Damn.
5 and podcast. I think this is podcast number 7.
Wow, look at that. Good for us. Pat on the shoulder. Just kidding. But this week we're going to talk about the NBA trade deadline last week and all the acquisitions made previously, and how we think it's going to impact all the teams going forward, and who we can see kind of taking off from where they are, and who's going to get better and who didn't from them. But anyways, we're your hosts, Aaron and Josh. And Aaron, if you want to take it from there.
Yep, and just to go from what we've said in previous videos, this video is obviously going to be brought to you by...
Hello, I'm Robinson, and I'd like to bring us to our sponsor, Anthony Jewelers. Right now, Anthony Jewelers has 60% off diamonds, 50% off wedding bands, and 65% off gold chains. As shown on the screen, you can call for a direct appointment with this number, and you can always check out the website to see what Anthony Jewelers has to offer with the link provided below. And it's what Anthony Jewelers always says, it's where Rhode Island gets engaged.
Just like the past couple videos, and that's going to continue to be our guys over there, Anthony's Jewelers. So the first thing, like Josh was saying, we're going to talk about just NBA trades, even if it doesn't affect like playoffs or anything this year or potential contenders, just kind of like maybe future moves,
Right.
potential picks, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, obviously there was no blockbuster trades really that's going to propel one team to automatically be a contender now.
Yeah.
But, we'll just go in depth on everything.
Yeah, this is basically from the couple podcasts ago. It's like a kind of like a re-up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna share. We got all the trades right in front of us. So Josh, you said you wanted to start off on this first one. It's nothing big, nothing special, but 2 young players being sent.
Yeah. I like Hamidou Diallo. I'm not going to lie. I liked him at Kentucky. He's a good athlete. I like what he can bring to a team. He's athletic. He can get to the rim. And he's got potential to be a good defender as well. I think the Pistons got a good player in him. So we'll see how that turns out. Obviously, it's not going to make a difference right now. Pistons, they're going to be on pace to, be a top 3, have a chance to get a top 3 pick in the lottery. But I just like the pick up there for the Pistons.
Yeah, the funny part about this trade is just seeing the Thunder getting another pick. Like that's the only thing. Like I look at this, the Thunder just keep getting picks, and it's gonna be very interesting to follow because I think they said over the next like 6-7 years or something, they got 34 picks.
Yeah, something like that.
It was like 17 first and 17 seconds. It was just like
right. Yep.
What team needs that many? They got to either turn a bunch of those into a stud player and then draft a couple guys.
Yeah, they better hit on someone. If they don't, they're screwed.
Yeah, and then, this Trevor Ariza, Myers Leonard one, the Heat just get a veteran guy, decent depth.
Yeah, good shooter, good defender, nothing crazy. Probably won't even play that much. I don't even know if he'll crack the rotation, really.
Yeah.
And Myers Leonard, we all know why he got traded. And actually, didn't he get released now?
Yeah, he's released now, and he probably won't play basketball for quite some time anymore. So
yeah, probably not.
We don't even need to get into that. He's just an idiot. There's nothing else to say about that. Now, this trade is very interesting because
I think so too.
The Rockets did give up a 2022 first-round pick in this deal, but they get the 2023 first-rounder and the option to swap the 2021, which is necessary because the Rockets kind of need Rockets need youth and
but
a restart.
I don't think the Bucks are good. Yeah, I don't think the Bucks are going to have a good pick in 2021.
Oh no, probably not.
They're in third place right now, and that's probably not going to change.
Yeah, I think they already have another first-round pick just from the James Harden trade, anyways. Especially in 2022, I'm sure they have one. They had a bunch of firsts from that deal, but PJ Tucker
2022 though is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yep. Because
the Bucks really good pick for the Bucks.
The Bucks potentially could get another decent young player from this.
Absolutely.
And that's scary to think, but this was kind of just like a marginal move. PJ Tucker gives some veteran depth, good defense.
Yeah, great defender, good shooter.
Especially in the East, you're going to need it against
overall,
the Nets.
Just a winner. Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to need it against the Knicks. You're going to need it against the 76ers. Those are the top 3 contenders right now in the East. So
yeah,
they all made improvements.
Yeah, I don't think Karuk's will really crack the rotation for the Bucks, but
he's just a spot-up shooter.
If anything, player. Yeah,
he's a spot-up shooter if anything. So
lanky kid. So who knows? Maybe he could be a good player down the line.
Yep, we'll move past that deal because I think that's just like a cash-in thing.
Yeah, let's not even waste our time on that. And now here's a fun one.
This is a fun one. I mean, I'm a Duke fan, so it's good to see Wendell Carter actually go to a team that will give him opportunities this year. The Bulls, they were so big the past couple of years with Larry Markkinen and Wendell Carter playing next to each other. Now Wendell Carter gets to kind of play his own center role, which is good to see.
Right.
But
you would have thought they would have complemented each other though better. One being a better shooter, one being like more post up paint player, offensive rebound getter.
Honestly, the biggest effect of that was probably Zach LaVine turning into a star. I mean, he was always good, but the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine has turned into a totally different player.
Yeah, absolutely. He really took off.
I mean, you gave up a good amount. Otto Porter Jr., I don't expect him to stay in the Magic. It wouldn't surprise me he gets bought out in the next week for some reason. It doesn't really make sense
on how much time he's got left on his contract, because I know he got a pretty big one from the Magic initially, like $30 million a year, I want to say. Something ridiculous like that. Something he's not worth.
Yeah, but the Bulls do give Vucevic, which gives them two centers now to be along with Kobe White, Zach LaVine, who could shoot the ball. I mean, Vucevic's an all-star center, top 5, top 6 center. It makes sense.
Yeah, and he can stretch the floor too, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and they'll be able to retain him.
So do you think that? Let me ask you this: do you think this makes the Bulls a playoff team from this point?
I think this gives them. I think this gives them the opportunity to be a playoff team. It gives them. I think so. It's not an easy out team anymore. I think Kobe White's getting better, and I think there's still one offseason away of being a contender team. I think they are a playoff team, but if they have a good offseason, like I know Lonzo Ball's interested. Now, if Lonzo Ball can come in to Chicago maybe next year and be their pure point guard and play with a bunch of scorers.
Yeah, that'd be interesting because Kobe White, he's like a combo guard. He can play off or on the ball too. So that would actually work well.
Kobe White can shoot the ball. Zach LaVine's obviously showed you he's a sniper now. He's an all-around player. Markkinen, they said Markkinen's not in their future anymore, so Markkinen might be in a trade that would send him to the Pelicans. So who knows?
Imagine.
That'll be something to watch.
Yeah. We'll look out for that.
I think it's tough to tell. You can't really pick a winner of this deal because these two future first-round picks.
I gotta say, Wendell Carter Jr. going to Magic, that's a great opportunity for him. I was high on him coming into the draft. I thought he's a solid guy. I think like amongst his peers, they did a survey and they said that he's gonna have the most solid NBA career from his draft class. And honestly, I agree with that. I could see him being like a 15, 17-year guy.
Yeah,
in the NBA.
He reminds me kind of. It's like a better version of Tristan Thompson. You get consistent like 10 and 10 games. He's a better scorer, better scorer, better post player. But I think he'll be having like a Tristan Thompson career where he'll still get some money. He'll bounce from playoff team to playoff team when it gets to the opportunity. But yeah, it's tough to pick a winner of this deal just because the first round picks. You got to see what's going on. You got to see how the Bulls react of getting Vucevic.
Right. Yeah, I worry about the Bulls on defense though still.
Yeah, this is a good trade. Norman Powell he's turned into a great scorer. I mean, it started last year as well, even before the bubble. He's always been a streaky scorer, but now he got the consistency this year on the Raptors.
Yeah, Nick Nurse got a lot out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this year he's averaging like 19, well on the Raptors at least, he was averaging like 19.6 points per game, which is like huge for him. And it gives the Blazers another like scorer and a good scoring option, and he can defend decently.
Yeah,
just a solid player.
Yeah, and then the Raptors get more Gary Trent Jr. than Rodney Hood. Rodney Hood, I'm not really sure what his age off the top of my head. I know he's been in the league for a little bit because he's part of the Jabari Parker Duke team, and Jabari
got to be late 20s now.
Yeah, but Gary Trent Jr. is a nice addition. He's a guy that can score well from you. Play the same role as Norman Powell, kind of. But the Raptors will have to retool this offseason and see what they're going to do with Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, absolutely.
This deal, it's a lot. There's just a bunch of seconds, a bunch of random players, but the 76ers did get George Hill.
Impactful there. Yeah, that's a good veteran pickup there.
Yep, they did get George Hill, so he's a nice vet. He was part of a couple of championship teams already in his career, especially I think most recent one was with LeBron on that 2018 team. So that gives him a nice just veteran presence. Terrence Ferguson.
Was he on that team that won the championship?
Yes, he was on a team with like Jeff Green, LeBron, George Hill, Kyle Korver, like that 20 team that beat the Celtics and then lost to the Warriors.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It was
I
a
was gonna
sweep
say I
year.
thought right, yeah, but
Yeah. It was
they
like
lost to the
it was LeBron versus 4
they lost to
All-Stars.
the Warriors. They got killed. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was the Isaiah Thomas year. Wow, not a bright year for the Cavs.
Yeah. This was not a massive trade, but Nemanja Bjelica, he's a nice veteran piece. Same thing. The Heat kind of just went and
Yeah,
got
he's a
veteran
tough guy.
pieces.
He plays hard and he can shoot well.
Yeah.
Big guy too.
Older to the league, and they didn't give up really much anything for him. So
no,
nothing really to say there. Nothing really said it here. DeLon Wright's actually having a pretty decent year, for what it's worth.
Yeah, he was.
It does. I don't know why the Kings did it, but I guess it's just better depth, better backup depth. And he's kind of like a combo guard. He played point guard for the Pistons this year, but I know he's
he could play off
guard.
the ball too, though. Yeah.
Marquise, I liked this deal first, but Marquise Chris got cut, so we'll see what team he ends up on.
That. If he even does get on a team.
But yeah, the Warriors weren't
Matt
keeping
Thomas.
him around.
That was the good shooter that all the Raptor fans were talking about on Twitter, and then he turned out not to do anything, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Funny how that goes.
It was funny because these two trades, if anybody watched,
and Terrence Davis too.
If anybody followed the deadline, everybody thought Kyle Lowry is confirmed traded because they traded away two guys and figured if you try to trade Kyle Lowry, you're going to get multiple players and picks. So I really thought that these two random players being gone to fill up two roster spaces, I really thought Kyle Lowry was going to the Raptors are like, nope, we're just going to take the second round picks. And
I was honestly hoping so. I'm done with Kyle Lowry being on the Raptors. Man needs to
he'll be a
scenery.
He'll be a 76er next year. He'll go back to where he was.
That's what I'm thinking.
This is kind of a random
Brad
trade.
Wanamaker, best backup point guard ever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Much. There's not much to say about this. I mean, Wanamaker's not a bad depth option. I think they did this only because LaMelo Ball might be out for the year, so
yeah, most likely
they needed some point guard depth. They got it for cheap. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's not really a big deal.
This is a very weird deal. There's nothing too sexy about this deal. I mean, Celtics fans. I mean, Daniel Tice. People are gonna miss Daniel Tice. Javonte Green.
Luke Cornett.
But for some reason,
say he was Jerebko 2.0.
Yeah, Luke
Honestly,
Cornett.
Perfect analysis. That's all you gotta know, people. Celtics fans, Jerebko 2.0.
Any big white dude who comes to the Celtics automatically starts shooting the basketball. Like
automatically.
I remember when we had Tyler Zeller, and he was never good. And then he came to Boston, he was halfway decent. And then the past couple of nights watching Luke Cornett, he's actually decent for us for some reason. But I watched the rest of his career, he's an awful field goal percentage guy. His 3-point percentage wasn't great either. And he played on trash teams. So he wasn't getting rotational minutes on trash teams. So I don't understand how he just came here and all of a sudden he's playing 10, 15 minutes in his first couple of games and was shooting good. I don't know.
Celtics gives everybody a trial.
And
if you can do something,
Wagner,
you'll get minutes. But if you can't, you're done.
Nothing special. We don't even need to waste our breath anymore on this trade. This is not a bad get for the Nuggets. The Nuggets did get much better at the trade deadline. They didn't even give up much for JaVale McGee, who's actually revived his career. He's had a couple of good years in a row. He was good in Cleveland.
He's always been a high energy big. I don't know why more teams never really try to sign him.
He was high energy, but his IQ never really came around until 4 years ago.
Yeah, true. He started going spurts, I guess.
He started going to more veteran-based teams, and then he started to actually get better. Now, this is a weird one because the Clippers, who are desperate for a point guard all year, were surrounded by all these young guys that they wanted to go out and get, and then they ended up getting Rondo. But it's a good deal because Rondo, as we've seen, playoff Rondo's a different breed. This dude might average 3-3 this year, but playoff time he'll give you 10 and 8 for some reason. So
yeah, I was just gonna say 3-3 is not cutting it though.
But the Hawks,
I guess for the Clippers,
the Hawks are in playoff contention. You do get a scorer off the bench, which is helpful, and you got a couple second round picks and cash consideration, so it's not the worst.
Yeah, and the Hawks don't play defense, so might as well get as much scoring as you can.
They're both older players. They're both going to be in retirement within the next couple of years. It's kind of just a flip of older guys.
That's what I was thinking. It's honestly a wash. It's not really a big deal.
This is a nice little deal for the Mavericks.
I was thinking that too. JJ Redick to the Mavs. That's a big deal.
Two shooters. Two shooters to put around Luka is always smart. It's kind of just it's like LeBron. you surround him with your shooting guards and power forwards should be able to shoot the ball when you play with LeBron. Your two in between positions need to shoot the ball. So Luka, who's putting up LeBron type statistics and touches the ball just as much as LeBron does, they went out and got him 2 more shooters. So very easy trade. I didn't give up much.
They're just basically trying to replace Seth Curry in his production from last year.
Yeah. Granted, though, JJ Redick isn't as good this year.
He's on the decline, unfortunately.
He's on the decline, but maybe there's some new juice.
He should still contribute, though. He's still a good shooter.
I mean, we're recording this, just to say before I talk about this, we're recording this on March 29th after the Celtics game where Evan Fournier just shot over 10 in his debut. So we're going to pretend like that didn't happen, and we're going to talk about our initial reaction. This is a good deal. I mean, the dude's got 20. Hot. He's got good field goal percentage. He can shoot the ball. 2 second round picks, and the worst backup point guard I've ever seen in my life got traded. So I don't mind this trade at all. He didn't do well in his first game.
I like Fournier. I do like him, but at the same time, Celtics fans, just to let you all know, he is Marcus Smart 2.0 when it comes to inconsistency. He is hot and cold. He's the definition of it.
Would I rather have him than Jeff Teague? 100% of the time.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But don't expect Evan Fournier to come in and be like Gordon Hayward and stuff. Like, he's not.
Yeah, he's not going to. Basically, he's not going to change the trajectory of the season at all.
He's not uber talented. He's a scorer. He can get you some buckets. He didn't have a great first game. He'll turn it around. I'm not too worried about it. Now, this makes sense, but then doesn't make sense at the same time. And I'll just explain my reasoning why I said that.
Rockets' hands were tied, though. They didn't have many options with that.
Yes. So they're doing this intentionally because they knew he wasn't staying.
They're accepting the rebuild, too.
Yes.
At this point.
They're accepting it. They took on the 2 contracts, but they did diss 2022 draft pick swap just because now, just in case, they had the ability to move up anyways. Yeah. It's just giving them the option. If the Rockets are randomly good next year and the Heat randomly trash next year, the option of swapping is there.
Yeah, that's basically like a why not, you know?
Yeah.
If you get it, take it.
That's just what it is. There's not too much to it. It's a good deal for the Heat, who have the opportunity to re-sign him because he likes Miami. He's always been connected to Miami. Oladipo's a good shooting guard. Adding him to Butler, Harrow, Bam. It's a deep team. That might be the 4th best contender in the East.
Honestly, yeah.
They started off slow. They've been in a better track. They have good veteran players. They have guys who just went to the finals last year.
It's weird too. They recently they got hot, and then now they've been cooling off a little, but with Oladipo, he should make a better impact and get them back on track.
I like this deal for the Magic better than the Vucevic deal, just because I like
Hampton.
I'm still high on Hampton. I like Hampton a lot. Gary Harris doesn't
why not?
He's a
young guy with good potential.
Yeah.
Gary Harris, he's not really much.
Aaron Gordon's an in-betweener. He's a good player. He'll never be a great player.
No, but he should help.
He
should help Jokic.
Yeah. Like him running pick and roll with Jokic or being able to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
He's athletic. He's a decent defender due to his athleticism. So
yeah, he plays hard too.
But I like this. I mean, they traded Gordon and Vucevic, but they got 4 first-round picks, another young player in R.J. Hampton, another young player in Wendell Carter.
What else could they have gotten for Aaron Gordon?
Yeah.
That's probably the best they really got.
And that's it for the trade deadline. I mean, we could go all the way down to the bottom. Like Josh said this before we started recording. This is a dead horse.
But that would just be beating the dead horse, yeah.
We've talked about this a million times. The Rockets got fleeced on this deal. I don't care what anyone says. It doesn't matter. James Harden forced a hand here. I don't care. I really don't care about pick swaps and stuff like that. You just traded the best player, one of the best players in the world.
Yeah, just being the dead horse. Let's move on from that. I don't even want to
But here's the one thing that confuses me
on
this deal.
On that.
You didn't keep Karis LeVert or even attempt to get Jared Allen in this deal. It didn't make sense. If you're going to trade James Harden, you need to get the other 2 best players in the deal. And somehow you ended up with neither of them. And then you traded Oladipo from that deal for a pick swap and 2 vets that are probably going to get bought out, or at least one of them is. So
yeah, luckily for Houston, though, Christian Wood likes it there, and he likes the coach. So
yeah, you're lucky you have Christian Wood for 2 more years.
That's the one silver lining for Houston Rocket fans.
Yeah. So now that we went over the trade deadline, I mean, this isn't updated because I haven't seen the Celtics just lost and all that. So
23 and 24, gotta love it, Celtics fans. Am I right?
But yeah, like I said earlier, Philly, Brooklyn, and Bucks clearly the
Philly's
top
been
3
solid
teams.
all year.
Yeah.
I knew when they got rid of Josh Richardson and they got Seth Curry, I knew that was going to be huge for them. Because Josh Richardson, man, he just he went in there with high expectations and he could not deliver.
But the big difference here from our first NBA podcast that we did early in the month, our first actual video, the Knicks and Hornets, I don't think were in playoff contention, or they were down here somewhere. Now look at them, 4-5, 24 and 22, 23 and 22. And they're not bad teams, honestly. And it might be because of COVID, no fans and stuff, just similar to what March Madness is going on now. Way more upsets than what it is usually. Fans make a massive difference sometimes.
You know what, though? I will say this. I think the Hornets are low-key deep, too.
They are.
They got Monk, Hayward, Devontae Graham, Rozier. They had LaMelo Ball.
And LaMelo Ball,
that's pretty good,
it's actually supposed to come back.
There. 5 guys, rather.
If they make the playoffs, I think they said LaMelo Ball could be healthy enough to play in the playoffs. So
if I was the Hornets, I would want him to get that experience.
Yeah. So, if push comes to shove, LaMelo Ball might be back.
If I'm Michael Jordan, I'm trying to get him back to the playoffs at least.
Might be a tough out. The Hawks have progressed much better. The Heat, like I said, they started really slow, but they're back up now. Oladipo just got there. They have a lot of help in the way. Oladipo, Ariza, and Bjelica added to Harrow, Dragic, Butler,
they got
Bam.
Good depth again, basically.
They got a good team. Duncan Robinson, the Heat, I think the Heat are probably the 4th best overall team in the East. I want to say the Celtics, but honestly, I don't really have much faith in them right now. Offensively, they're fine.
You know what, though? I'm not so quick to throw, the fraud on the Knicks yet. I think they actually could potentially make it to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, they're a very good defensive team.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's crazy,
young,
huh?
They're
a young
team,
though.
Too. And we'll see how Julius Randle reacts to, him being the star, number 1 option right now.
Yeah, and obviously his elevated play has helped him get there. But
and then in the West,
I can
also
see him against the second round.
To talk about the buyouts too, we probably could have put that on the screen. But there's only really 3 major buyouts. We obviously saw Blake Griffin and Aldridge go to the Nets because everybody.
I don't think Blake Griffin's going to matter much. I think his career is pretty much done. Even though his first points apparently for the Nets was a dunk.
Yeah, but I still think they're frauds. I think my personal opinion is not going to really matter to anybody, but
give them the fraud stamp.
The NBA is tough to watch now. It's still fun. It's still cool. I'm still going to watch the Celtics, but it's tough to watch because now it's just instead of these buyout players, I understand that they want to go and win a championship and stuff like that. I really do.
Right.
But it's so annoying to watch the Nets get these players. It really is. And that
Griffin
goes for,
doesn't bother me, but Aldridge does because he's still putting up 14 and 5.
That goes for any team.
And he can shoot. So
it just goes for any team. The Nets are trying to win now. I understand. It's smart for them to go into the buyout market and get these players. They want to come play with you. Obviously, if I'm the GM of the Nets and Aldridge and Blake Griffin tell me that they're interested,
it's a no-brainer for the Nets. It's not on them.
You do it every single time.
It's more on the guys who are signing with them.
Yeah,
you could say the NBA for allowing it too, but
I think
I guess it's not the biggest deal in the world because obviously they are in the downswing of their career and they only got a few more years left. Blake Griffin, who knows, this could be his last year.
Yeah. I do like the Drummond pickup for the Lakers. I do and
I don't. He's kind of an empty stats player.
I'm gonna sound fraudulent.
I like him at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to sound fraudulent for saying this because I was just complaining about the Nets. It's funny because the Lakers are still kind of deep too, but they're with injuries and stuff like that. And then some of their free agents that they got aren't playing out. Drummond for Lakers doesn't actually bother me. Usually it bothers me to see people like that team up with LeBron for cheap and stuff. But the Lakers actually really need a center because Marc Gasol has been trash all year. Davis has been hurt. Now LeBron's hurt.
What about Harrell, though? He's been pretty solid.
He has, but he's been their only guy. And Harrell was also a small ball center, so you can't really rely on him to be the full-time center. And then Schroeder, they signed him, and he hasn't really done that much. Well, not signed.
No, he's had a bad year, to be honest.
But I will
say this about Drummond, too. I think, obviously his advanced stats are pretty bad compared to his, real stats. But I think in less playing time and smaller spurts, I think he will shine more. I think he actually will have an impact on winning. I just think he plays too much and he's always been on bad teams, so he really hasn't had the opportunity. But
I think
this will help both.
If you put him in like the 25-minute range for the Lakers, and LeBron always uses centers. I mean, LeBron is making LeBron makes everyone look good, but
yeah, he does.
To have an athletic center like he uses Anthony Davis, who's been shooting more from the outside and post, it feels good to have a good defensive rebounding center inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to go too much in depth. It's just annoying to watch. Do the Brooklyn Nets need these guys? No, they don't. They were probably going to. There's a good chance they're going to win it without Blake Griffin and Aldridge. You could tell me they're injury prone all they want. It doesn't matter. This Blake Griffin faked his whole season with the Pistons to get out, and then signed with them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aldridge never faked it. I'm more annoyed with Blake Griffin signing with the Nets than Aldridge. Aldridge, I think, is kind of first of all, he's much older, and I think
he was still having a better year though, and he's a better shooter.
Yeah, like it's just for me, Blake Griffin. It's like, how can you not consider yourself a fraud after you just quit on your team that you willingly signed a contract extension with, and then
yeah, that's a good point.
And then you faked it, and then your first game back, you dunked the ball after not dunking a ball for your team, then complaining that
right.
And then you complained that
they said all year he didn't dunk once.
He didn't dunk since like early 2019 or something like that.
Wow.
So it's like,
yeah, that's embarrassing.
So it's like how you have all this out on you and you just still go out and do it. But I don't know. It's just annoying. But
yeah, well, we're gonna stop beating the dead horse on that.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: so, who, like, now that we're later in the year, who are your who can you see get into the finals? Like, what are 2 or 3 teams from each conference?
I'm still sticking for my guns in the first projected NBA video. I'm still picking Philadelphia out of the East. I mean, Brooklyn probably will still beat them, but I'm still rolling Philadelphia.
I gotta say, for me, yeah, I like Philly. I like their odds.
I hate
It's tough for me though to pick between Philly, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee. Though I will be honest.
I hate Philadelphia.
I think they're all pretty close.
I really do.
Yeah.
I can't stand them. As a Celtics fan, especially, we've always faced them in the playoffs. But non-biased, saying this in front of the camera twice now, I still think that Philadelphia 76ers are going to go to the finals this year. They're bound to do it. They're a good defensive team. They still score a bunch of points, as you can see right here. Only 4.5 points less than the Nets. They have a good
Ben
defense.
Simmons has been locked in defensively, big time too.
They have a good defense. They added some depth in George Hill. So I still think that they're just as good.
So if not them, then
if not the Nets,
is like next in line. Yeah.
I'm still saying the Nets are probably going to beat Philly, but I'm just sticking with my guns. I don't want to switch sides. I'm still going with Philadelphia. And then in the West, I'm pretty sure I picked the Lakers. I mean, it's still tough now. It's still tough to commit to the Suns and Jazz.
It is, yeah, I agree.
And then the Clippers got better, and I love Rondo. I think Rondo could potentially turn them around defensively and offensively.
Playoff Rondo, man.
Playoff Rondo's a different breed, as you can tell. The Lakers last year, he was the third best player behind
playoff and TV Rondo. That's what it's all about.
I don't understand what goes on in his brain half the
time. I would
love
to see the Suns or Jazz get it, but I'm just not buying in yet. Fully healthy Lakers.
If I'm gonna watch a finals, I want to watch Nets and Lakers. I would hate to see it, but it'd be fun to watch.
It would be, yeah.
If I were to,
honestly, I want to see Lakers and Bucks. I'm gonna go with the Bucks because I just think Giannis, it's his time. I think he's gonna be locked in. I think he's gonna not shy away from guarding the other team's best player like he did last year. Yeah. He could expose and put in his place. Let's be honest. Last year in the bubble, and I think he's gonna be more determined this year. And I would love to see that matchup.
For fun, I would want to see Philadelphia versus the Nuggets or Clippers. For fun.
Yeah.
If I were to pick an actual NBA
look, I have no problem with from the Eastern Conference 1, 2, or 3 playing either the Jazz or the Suns or the Nuggets or even the Clippers. To be honest, I really don't want to see the Lakers, but
I don't want to see the Lakers.
I can't. I don't want to see it's hard to bet against LeBron and AD. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see LeBron. I don't want to see KD in the finals again. But guess what? Probably going to happen. If there's a betting favorite, Brooklyn and the Lakers are probably your top 2 favorites. So.
Yeah, probably.
That's just what it is. If I were to pick a sleeper from each conference, like I said, I'd pick Miami from the East. I don't know if you really consider them a sleeper. Record-wise, they're a sleeper, but team-wise, they're not. And if I were to pick a sleeper from the West, I mean, I already said the Nuggets, but if I were to pick a sleeper from the West, I'd probably say the Trailblazers, because it wasn't too long ago where they were just in the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. So, and they still have the same team, and Nurkic just now is back from injury. So
with Norman Powell too now.
Yep. They
didn't have Canner last year, so.
Yep, they have 2 good centers. Now they have 3 good guards. They still got Carmelo, who's a nice veteran presence scorer.
Yeah, let's see what they can do.
So
hopefully they can make a good push in the playoffs at least. Make it fun to watch.
Yeah. And then the last thing we wanted to just do quickly is just go over the stats. I mean, there's not really too surprising to see these top 5
Yeah,
in scoring.
not many surprises, not many changes here. Still Beal leading the league in scoring.
Yeah, Harden and Westbrook leading.
Right there.
Yeah, Harden and Westbrook leading the league in assists doesn't surprise me.
Embiid dropped off a little though. I remember in our last video he was around like 29, I want to say, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Canner, nothing's really surprising from the rebounding list either. Canner might drop a little bit.
Yeah, I think that stay the same pretty much. Capel leading the way. Yeah, Canner will drop.
Yeah. Canner will drop a little bit because Nurkic is back.
Yeah.
Blocks. I mean,
Miles Turner's still leading the way too, huh? 3.5.
He's had a good year. Chris Boucher, that's another underrated player that needs to be talked about. Boucher.
Is it Boucher or is it Boucher like Bobby Boucher from the Water Boy?
I kind of want it to be Boucher now, just because of that.
I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm kind of hoping French, it is now. Let us know in the comments if it's Boucher or Boucher.
Yeah, if anybody knows, let us know. I'm pretty sure they say Boucher.
And then steals. I mean, TJ McConnell, of course. Why wouldn't he be on?
Look at that, a backup point guard on the Pacers leading the league, huh?
Because he's TJ McConnell.
Amazing, awesome sauce.
That's why. And then team stats. I mean,
I feel like James Harden's making it a point though to lead the league in assists.
Yeah, probably. Offensive leaders. I mean, literally nobody's surprised from these top 5 teams.
Yeah, no surprises there.
I mean, nobody should be surprised when the defensive leaders.
Look at the Jazz, though. I will say going into the playoffs, that's very, very good for them.
Yeah,
being number 3 in offense and number 5 in defense.
This might be another sleeper team to the Knicks. I mean, the roster-wise, they're not.
I think they're going to give teams a tough time.
Yep, Tom Thibodeau-led teams are tough, competitive. Always difficult.
Yeah, not saying they're going to go to the finals or even the conference finals, but if they make it to the second round, I bet you they give whoever they play a run for their money.
Yeah. I mean, so that's basically it. This was our second update on the NBA. We probably won't do another unless something drastic happens, but
yeah,
we probably won't do another NBA one until probably like playoff time when seeds are set, and we'll do like playoff prediction stuff. But I mean, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the NBA season. Difficult for me to watch now after what the Nets just did and all that, but hey, it's still March Madness time during this time, so March Madness is what's going to be on the next 2 weeks anyways, so.
But yeah, we got the Final Four coming up. Obviously, the Elite Eight is live right now. Arkansas, Baylor, as we record.
Yep.
Baylor tomorrow, right now.
Tomorrow night, we're recording this, like I said, on March 29th, so tomorrow on the 30th, we're going to record our Final Four predictions and the rest of the way predictions, because it's tough for recording purposes when we record on when Final Four is going to happen.
Basically our fourth chance bracket in a way, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, because our first brackets were not great. At least Josh picked Gonzaga. I picked Illinois. I was part of the Illinois crowd, so my bracket's been busted for about a week now. It's just fun to watch the games, but. Enough time. We've rambled on enough. We hope you guys enjoying the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share the videos on Facebook.
Yeah, do all that good stuff, please. We always appreciate it. Tell us how we can improve. Tell us your thoughts, everything, Yep. All that good stuff. We love to hear it.
Yep, and we will also drop in the comments. We just started our Instagram page this week as well. So hopefully you guys can all follow on that, because we'll post updates on there as well.
People better follow on that.
And get more viewers.
You better get ready for the big surprise.
But yeah, until then, this is Little Rhody Sports Talk, and
in case you forget, I'll be checking back.
Yes, and I'm Aaron Cicilline, that's Josh Moran, and we'll hope you guys have a good day.
Stay safe, y'all.